friends. This is Nan Michael with Kaleidoscope, and today I'm thrilled to have as a guest Yang Miller. I said the name right?
You got it. Yeah, Miller. It's the standard.
But I was thinking of the Yang
Oh,
part.
the Yang part. Oh, yeah, you got it. You got that too. Yep.
Well, I'm going to let Yang talk quite a bit today because he's got so much information and I may not ask the right question.
Sure.
So be our guest.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks so much for having me. This is fun. It's nice
Thanks
to be back
for coming.
in the ACTV studios here. I've never seen Kaleidoscope before, so it's exciting. Hi, folks. My name's Yang Miller. I am the technical director and audience experience coordinator at the Athena Cinema. Before I did that, I was an improviser, lived in New York for 16 years, and went to film school, Brooklyn College, CUNY, and made a few films. And I made kind of a depressing documentary about a friend of mine, and it was like I finished this film and was sending it to festivals and stuff like that, and I was kind of like, I need some laughter.
Yeah.
So I started getting into improvised comedy there. And I started.
Would you want to define that?
Yeah. So improv comedy is like what I do is called long form improv comedy, and there's also what's called short form improv comedy. So short form is more like games and a lot of audience participation and kind of like short. So, you know, an example might be like somebody leaves the room, goes out of the theater, and you give these players like different issues. Like one person can't stop sneezing, one person, you know, has crazy hats on, one person, you know, has a weird walk, and the other person has to come in and guess. And it's like the audience kind of helps. But what I do is long form improv, which is different. So that's more of like creating a short play on the spot with just a suggestion of a word or a phrase or a song lyric or pretty much anything. Sometimes we'll bring somebody onto the stage and do an interview with them about their life, their day, pluck details and specifics from that, and then create a scene. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's several scenes actually, so it's all these different scenes that kind of fit together in this narrative structure. Sometimes there's all these different forms. Improv has gotten so deep and so complex, and people, you know, it's really growing in popularity in New York, LA, Chicago, kind of all over the country. It's getting more and more popular. So there's different forms. There's different, you know, a lot of the times people will think, oh, improv, you just make it up on the spot, and there's no rules or anything, you can do anything you want. Well, that's not necessarily true. There's guidelines that help you communicate better with your scene partner and be on the same page, and even forms that are like structures of how you put together the theatrical piece.
Well, maybe you can start with the simplest, because at least that's what I've heard of.
Yeah.
How does the simplest go? And when you have these kids, you teach kids improv at Arts West?
I've done it. I did a class at Arts West. I've also done other classes around town for adults and college kids and adults. And so I run a kids class that incorporates kids doing improv, just basic improv games to get them loosened up and kind of thinking in a dramatic way and in a narrative way, and creating ideas that we then script out and make short films. So when I first moved back from New York, that was one of my first projects, and then I was teaching an improv drop-in, so it was once a week. People just show up, put money in the donation jar, and then we learn some skills.
And where was that?
I was doing that, at Arts West. At Arts West. And then since then, I've moved to a couple other spaces and settled on a place on Court Street, like above Fluff and 8 North Court above Fluff. There's some studios there that I like to use. Because you don't make a lot of money doing improv.
Not if you have a jar sitting.
Yeah, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's more for the art of it. And, you know, I would love to have a community of improvisers in Athens so that when I eventually move out of town, I can come back and have people to play with, you know. And back in New York, it was great because you would have any given night of the week, there'd be an improv show that you could go see, or maybe a jam where you could go play.
And you're going to leave?
Well, I've got a 2-year goal to be in Los Angeles.
Oh.
So I do some acting also. So I've done, since I've been in Athens, I've been doing a lot of student films and some different spots. I did a couple feature films. It's interesting, this spring and summer, I did a short film where I played a down-and-out truck driver whose wife disappears. And then I did a feature film where I played a down-and-out diner owner whose wife disappears. So they got my number, you know. And there was also I had some personal relationship stuff going on at the same time. So it's art and life combining, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the tenets of improv, really, is being detailed, being specific, but also being real. You know, you can get, a lot of the times people can get like overblown and go nutso, and if things don't feel really grounded or logical, and we call that going to crazy town, which is fun to do because everything's just haywire. But
I guess in my mind that's the way it would be.
yeah, but when people are really listening and really paying attention and using the tenets of improv, which I can talk about more, the scenes seem grounded and even seem scripted. So I've seen improv where I'm like, well, that just feels so real, like a real play, and just really like they're really listening, they're really in the moment, they're really paying attention, and it's really, yeah, it's fascinating.
Do their private lives sometimes enter? I can see how they could not.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Sometimes one of the exercises that I do for my teams is have them, so I'll do a class and then we'll do a graduation show. So it'll be a 6-week class, 2 hours, and then at the end they'll do a show for friends and family at Arts West.
Really?
Yeah. So I haven't done that in a little while just because I've been busy with work and stuff, but I'm hoping to get that started up again soon.
Well, you got my number.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for talent.
Okay, great. We got some, for sure, for sure. And if anybody wants to take a class or is interested in, I also do special workshops for people. So, you know, if a company or a group is doing a retreat and wants to have some activities, improv is a great way to bond a company, bond a group, really help people get communication skills locked in, and it's a good strengthening tool. Could
you kind of give me an example?
Of what improv?
Simple.
Okay, well, yeah, one of the first things that I do, improv's all about listening and reacting. And there's this idea of yes and.
Of what?
It's called yes and. So this would be like the big idea of improv. And that is the idea that you say something is true, and I say yes, and then I add to it.
Oh.
So instead of saying no, you're wrong, or anything like that, I immediately accept the reality that you're putting out there. I say yes to it, and I build on it. And then the other person will say yes and then the other person will say yes and then you're building and building and building. You're using.
So the first person that says yes and, they do some and. Okay, then it's like period. You know that's a period, and you. Okay.
Right. And a lot of it is just listening. I mean, on the very most basic level, it can just be one word at a time. And there's an exercise I do called fortune cookie, and we can play it. So fortune cookie works like this. We've all gone to a Chinese restaurant and gotten a fortune cookie at the end of the meal. It's got a little bit of wisdoms in it. Makes sense. Sometimes it's a little strange, but it makes sense, you know. So what we'll do is I'll say a word, and then you'll say a word, and then I'll say a word, and we'll go back and forth until it feels like we've made a fortune cookie. So we're looking to find a little bit of wisdom or an idea or a piece of truth maybe, and then when it feels like it's over, we'll go like this. Okay?
And we've said it, okay.
All right, and we'll do it at the same time.
We'll
at the same time.
Okay.
Exactly. So I'll start. So tomorrow.
Wisdom.
Finds.
Train.
Places. So what was it? Tomorrow wisdom finds trying places.
Trains.
Trains.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Trains, trying places.
Good. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try some more.
Okay.
We'll try a couple more.
Okay.
Hopefully this is fun for our viewers.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So why don't you start this time? So we are looking to make a sentence that seems to make sense, but it's so you're listening and then you're reacting to that thing.
Okay.
So we are trying to make a fortune cookie.
Poetry.
Is
Cheating.
on
Me.
again.
This is real easy.
Yeah, it's easy, right? If you listen and react, it's easy if you're in the moment. Poetry is cheating on me again. I like that one. That's kind of like a literary bumper sticker. Let's try another one.
Okay.
All right. I'll start this time. Find
Rabbit.
fur
Skinned.
alive
Ouch.
baby. Okay. Find rabbit fur skinned alive. Ouch, baby. It's jazz. And improv really kind of came out of the jazz movement of the 50s. In Chicago, there were different theater teachers who were using improv as an exercise to get their students loosened up, get the players warmed up, change their movement, change the way that they thought, get them really into the mode of listening really strongly. And the long-form improv, what we do long-form improv in different forms, were originated by a guy named Del Close.
How you spell it?
Delclose. He's really sort of known as the godfather of improvised comedy, long form that we do. Really amazing character, was like traveled with the Grateful Dead, was like a circus performer, barker, like really interesting character. And my mentor that I studied with at the Pit, it was a theater called the People's Improv Theater in New York City. He was one of the students of Del in Chicago. And then he sort of brought the idea of improv with another group of people to New York and started doing it. And then later I met with Ali and started learning.
Kind of like a quick Google.
A quick Google? Yeah. Yeah, it might be a Googleable. Yeah, but Del Close, there's a lot of interesting Del Close books and stories and stuff out there that are pretty fascinating.
Well, I can contribute one piece of information, but not about improv, but maybe going from improv, is that twice in the Chinese restaurant I've gotten a little fortune thing that said, try another fortune.
Uh-huh.
And I felt, oh, that looks bad. But I found out if you turn it over, there's another fortune there.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that one before. That's funny. Try another fortune. Fortune on other side of paper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then it says that on both sides.
Do you have a breakout with improv at work?
I do improv games. A lot of the times there's downtime at the theater, so we have all student employees, and sometimes they'll it'll be between shows. We have a little rush, 7 o'clock, and then everybody's kind of hanging out, playing pinochle. And I'll have them do little improv games and have them do things like that. And I've used improv in my filmmaking a lot and in different, doing different characters and different bits. And
how can you depend on it in something you're writing? I mean, or movies.
Yeah.
You said you've used it. How can you use it if you don't know?
Right.
How can you explain it?
Well, for me, it was I was doing a character. There's lots of clips on YouTube of this. It's a show that I was doing called VIP Style, The Terry Hicks Story. So I was doing this character named Terry Hicks, who's sort of like an Appalachian guy who loves to party. and he was doing a show called VIP Style that was like party tape. So it's just him going around having fun and videotaping it. So I would get into character. I would put on makeup. I would like change my hair. I would put on different clothes, and then we would have a video camera following me, and I would go out into the world and just see what happened, and sort of play as this character and interact with real people, and have other friends of mine doing a similar thing, trying to like really blend into the real world, and just go around and shooting this. So that was all just improvised, spontaneous, on the street, being in character and being able to play it as real as possible and just try to feel, like he's a wacky character, so he's a little bigger than life. So people were kind of like, is this a real guy? But then I also would have the camera there, so that was a little distracting. So people were like, I'm not sure what exactly is going on here, but, I tried to keep it light and fun and just get a little glimpses of humanity from people that they weren't expecting to give me. Yeah.
I would think so. So, did anybody just not talk to you? Or
Oh, sure.
turn their back? Or?
Well, no, I was pretty engaging. I mean, but there were times where you could tell somebody did not want to interact, which is fine. And it's just a numbers game.
Maybe didn't want their picture out there.
Yeah, and that happens too, yeah. And, it's a numbers game. It's like passing out flyers or something like that on the street. Not everybody's going to take one. Not everyone's open to it. But when I did find people who were open to it and, the camera's there and they kind of want to be on camera, or they're a little bit like, fun or outgoing, then we engage and some magic starts to happen. And it's just spontaneous and funny things happen all the time.
You said are you working on a film now?
I'm working on a documentary that I started back in 2009. And it's another kind of dark documentary about a friend passing away, but
Same friend?
a different friend, yeah, and there's some comedy elements in it too. It's sort of using that thing, being in character, myself and some friends, being out in the world, and so there's going to be some funny elements to it, and I'm cutting it down to around 15 minutes and hoping to get it into the Athens Film Festival. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. And then in the meantime, have been working on a screenplay. I'd like to make a feature film in Athens before I leave. So if anybody wants to invest in a feature film shot in Athens, give me a ring. You can find me at millery@ohio.edu.
Is this invest money or time or acting?
Anything. People want to be involved. Stay in
Encouragement?
Yeah, or even, encouragement, pat on the back. I'll take a high five and a pat on the back and a go get 'em. I'd appreciate that. And also, if anybody wants to take an improv class or a workshop or have something special, I can be reached at the same email address, and maybe I can give that to you and you can put it at the bottom of the... Are we live right now? Are we live right now?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you can boo-boo.
Yeah. Okay, good.
This is the boo-boo show.
Oh, it is it? Oh, good. I didn't know that. Kaleidoscope, the boo-boo show. Yeah. How long have you been doing the show?
Well, about 20 years with about 3 years of burnout in between.
Yeah. You got to take breaks, keep it fresh.
Back in 1989, I think I started.
Wow.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And this is the way I think public access should be, just hanging loose and whatever. We see enough proper stuff on the pseudo-proper stuff
Yeah, right.
on the networks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's fun. Back when I remember doing having a couple of public access shows back when it was on East State Street.
Oh, wow, yeah. I started out there.
Okay, yeah.
And what was your show?
Oh, I would just come in and do an hour or so with some friends and just horse around. And I remember my big idea was turning the camera upside down, and then we pretend like we're upside down, and it was like
Ken Dobo.
Ken Dobo, yeah.
Oh,
This might have been before Ken. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Well, it was Lynn. Was it Lynn Rogers before Ken? But then they kind of got together.
Yeah.
But I know there was one night that everybody would go down to the that center and just do stuff. Just do stuff. So
To the rec center and yeah.
and yeah, they drifted away. They got put out. But I was always doing the public access. I believe in public access.
Yeah.
I think it's a creative tool, and I think people are nuts for not taking advantage of it and having fun. This is fun.
It's fun, yeah.
What would I be doing? I see how old I am. In 2 days I'll be 82. And my alternative would be something like washing dishes or something, watering a plant. But
Oop, lost your mic. Well, happy early birthday. Happy early birthday. You want me to help?
oh, thank you,
I got it. Happy early birthday.
thank you.
You too. Jeez Louise. That's great. So you're a Libra then?
Virgo.
Virgo.
Yeah,
Virgo.
15th.
15th Virgo.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
Scorpio.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice for me, not so nice for other people sometimes. I'm kidding. High five.
Well, Virgo's not too pleasant for other people. I guess we're pretty satisfied, but
Yeah,
I
right.
was always jealous of Scorpios.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about some experiences with the brand new young person coming into a class.
Well, one of the first things that I do is I do an exercise where everybody fails. Nobody can win at this exercise. It's difficult. So everybody...
Do they know that in advance?
No. No. Everybody tries to do it. It's a physical and mental, and it's doing multiple things at the same time, which is difficult to do. Taking instruction, really listening, being in the moment. Excuse me. And so that's the first thing I do. I make sure everybody fails so that it doesn't feel like, am I doing it right? Is there a competition? And it takes the pressure off a little bit. Oh, we're all failed. We all just failed. We all didn't do it, you know. But then eventually they do get to it. And I keep going. I keep working it until they actually do it. And I just did the Ohio Summer Valley Theater improv workshop this summer.
Oh.
With Carol, oh my gosh, she was at the high school. Carol Patterson, that's right.
Oh.
Thank you, producer. Yeah, so she was running a summer camp, and I did a couple days with that. So
Oh, I bet they love that.
Oh yeah, it was really fun. They had a great time, and we did a group with younger kids, and then a group with more high school age kids, and they had a blast.
Did you mix them up?
No, there was
Oh.
2 separate groups. Yeah, there is a little bit of a gap. There's a little bit of a learning gap. Well, the younger kids you want to do more basic stuff with, but I'll tell you, the younger kids were more enthusiastic and were doing a lot of the same exercises that the older kids were doing. And I think the older kids were like a little more like, okay. I mean, everybody wanted to be there because it was theater and they were theater kids and stuff. But the younger kids were extremely enthusiastic. Yeah, and it was great. It's great to see that. And it's great to see improv change people because once you really start to click and you really start to feel this sort of magic that happens, it changes you. I mean, I've had a couple experiences where you have sort of an out-of-body experience. You feel like I remember doing scenes, and I still remember the scenes where you feel so in the moment, you feel so in character, you're listening so hard, you're not even thinking about the audience, and you're just there with the person, and it almost feels like you're moving in slow motion. You know, if you've ever seen The Matrix when he's like leaning back and dodging the bullets and stuff like that, it feels like that. It feels like you are so in control and everything is just happening perfectly and everything's working, and yeah, and it's you get off stage and boy, you can get a real rush, you know.
Wow. Wow. Out of body experience.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I've had some fantasies about doing it. I've never tried to do it with anyone, but my idea was like me and another person like arriving at my home door and me not being home and I'm supposed to be home.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, maybe this and then maybe that, and why don't we go so and building like that. But that's not your usual way, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that sounds like a sketch, maybe. That sounds like sketch comedy. So written, kind of planned thing. With improv, I mean, we can try to do another. This is just we'll just do an improv warm-up exercise. It's called 5 things. So I'll ask you to say 5 things, and then you'll ask me to say 5 things. Okay. So 5 things you'd find in your glove compartment.
See, pliers,
1,
my registration,
2,
a lost glove,
3,
sunglasses,
4,
an old candy bar.
5. So good. So that's great. So those were detailed, specific, personal to you, and things that you were really thinking and remembering and doing it. And there was no problem there. You were just answering a question. Old candy bar, like what brand candy? So you've got this basic stuff, but then you can also put details and specifics on it. What kind of candy bar?
A partially melted Hershey bar.
So that's even more specific. So that makes it even more, to me, funny and real seeming. Details and specifics are big. So if you come in to a scene, you use details and specifics to establish who the other person is. So what your relationship is to each other in this imaginary world, where you are in the world, where you physically are, and what the deal is, what you kind of want from each other. And then you can start to build games.
So I want a Hershey bar from you.
Yeah. You want a
got
Hershey
one
bar.
on you.
Yeah. So now let's do 5 things for me. So 5 things.
Okay.
And it can be anything. 5.
From you. You're talking to yourself.
Well, go ahead and ask me 5 things.
Okay, 5 things that come to you, occur to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot about the glove compartment. 5 things under your sofa.
Okay. Dust bunnies. Spare change. My remote control. Old tissues. And geez, what else is under there? Probably a love note. Yeah.
To yourself?
Yes. I write them to myself every day. You have to. If nobody else is gonna, you have to write your own love notes. You are good. I love you from me. That's true.
Right. Okay, well, I came up with 5 things.
Okay.
And your job was more difficult.
Yeah, I came up with 5 things. And so let me think. What are some other improv games that we can do? Really, it's the sort of thing. I've seen amazing groups with just 2 people. There's a group called TJ and Dave, and they do amazing. I mean, they are improvising at the highest level, really, and it just seems like theater.
Well, give me an example when you say the highest level.
They do a 2-man show for about an hour, and they play different characters. They use what we call object work. So if you're holding something in your hand, like for instance, if you're holding a gun in your hand, right? A lot of people will do this, but that's a finger gun. So you're not actually, so the idea is to use your hand so that it looks like you actually have the thing in your hand, right? And give it a weight and give it direction and make it specific. And that's a way to, when you're doing a scene, to really start to paint the picture of where you are. So interacting with the room. And improv is a thing where it's just some people on a stage with a couple of chairs. That's it. There's no wigs, there's no costumes, there's no anything. Just people listening to each other, reacting, building an environment, putting in improvised doors, knocking on improvised doors. And the harder...
Do they do sound effects?
Sure. Hello?
You're giving away trade secrets.
Yeah, I can't. Take the class. The first class is all how to knock on an improvised door. That's a 2-hour class. Yeah, people want to jump into it and just start knocking. No, no, no. You have to imagine the door. You have to open the door. You have to get the colors and everything, the details and specifics, and then you're allowed to knock. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But, yeah, we have a lot of fun. I do it. It's a 6-week class.
And that's the one that's offered where?
That one, the location, the rehearsal location changes, but the shows are at Arts West. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's fun. It's a fun way to spend some time together and get people together. I've had families do it together. I've had a father-daughter team before. And it's just a way to kind of think about each other and be creative together.
And hook someone. I'm trying to think of how, let's say a mother and a daughter would do it for fun. Can you give me an example, like how would it start? And the daughter would have to know what was going on.
Right, right. Well, we can try to do a little improvised scene just now. So what we'll do is I'll just start a scene. You listen and react. I'll try to give you details and specifics. We'll try to figure out who we are, what our relationship is to each other, where we are, and what we want from each other. We'll try to figure that out pretty early. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's say that you're my mother and I'm your daughter, and I am doing a Kaleidoscope show.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you're my mother.
Okay.
Okay, and what do I want from you?
Well, I'm saying that we could find out in the scene. We can figure it out in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we'll just go ahead and begin. Okay.
Okay, so I say, welcome to Kaleidoscope. I'm happy today to have Mama with me.
Hi. I love my daughter. I'm so proud of her. She didn't want me to come on the show, but I thought I should come on and say hi. I love to see you. And you've got to look at your 3 cameras. You're doing such a good job. You're in Hollywood. You know, you should be on Saturday Night Live. You really should. You should call up Saturday Night Live and get on that show. You're so, ever since she was a little girl, she's been such a ham.
I think I was about to say that. I'm afraid my mother is a little manic.
Oh, well, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm manic. I've had a couple cups of coffee. I was just so excited to come over here and see ya. I love you so much. Come here, you. You're my little girl. You've always been my little girl.
You're my old mother.
And I want to tell you something. I mean, you know, you have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, but I really do. When I say it, I mean it. You are my favorite. Just don't tell them. Don't. Oh, jeez. Oh, cameras.
She was joking. She was joking.
You can edit it in post, right? You can change it.
Right.
You are so talented. My little daughter. Jeez, I remember the day you were born. I swear you came out and you winked at the doctor. You had that showbiz.
I may have winked at the doctor, but you've always said I was born mad.
Yes, you came out and you were just spitting mad. You winked at the doctor and then you poked him in the eye.
Him or her?
Yeah. It was 2 doctors, a male and a female.
Oh, okay.
And you did one of these. You were so angry as a child, you did one of those 3 Stooges, poked him in the eye, boop, boop. And I knew, oh boy, I'm going to have my hands full with this little one. And I sure did.
And she comes on Kaleidoscope and makes me look
Beautiful.
special.
Yes.
And I know I'm not special because she's my mom.
I'm special. Needs. Okay. We did it.
We did it.
We did a little improvised scene. A little improvised scene, yeah. Uh-huh.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. So when is your next workshop?
Well, it's really once I get people signed up, then I put it all together. So usually I do it on either Sundays or Mondays from 7 to 9.
Other Sundays and Mondays, you mean?
Either Sundays or
Oh.
Mondays. Yeah, those are my 2 days off at the theater.
Oh, so you work on your days off.
I do. Yep.
Well, let me ask you about another profession that you have. A friend of mine was in the Athena's Theater a month or two ago, and the film broke, and everybody was told to leave, but they were given their money back.
The film broke. Well, we use digital projectors, so yeah, I guess something must have gone haywire.
Could have been somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I was there for that.
Oh, you didn't hear about it?
Well, we've had technical issues in the past. It's a 101-year-old theater.
Oh, really?
Some of the equipment.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the equipment's not 101 years old. It's new digital equipment, but yeah, we're an independent. I aim for us to have perfect presentation, so I aim to make everything perfect for our patrons.
Oh, it is very nice.
Yeah,
It
thank
is
you.
very nice. And I like the chairs for the old or handicapped in the front, so you don't have to go fishing for a comfortable chair.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that your idea?
No, those were there. I've only been at the theater for 3 years. 3 years, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So are you related to any of the other Millers in town?
Cheryl Sesta. Do you know Cheryl Sesta?
How do you spell Chester?
Cesta. She teaches women's self-defense classes and Bondo classes at Arts West.
I've probably met her. I'm, 82. So
Okay.
that's an excuse for a lot of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I can't wait till I'm there. I don't know.
So you're not Miller Poultry?
No, not Miller's Poultry. No, not Miller's Poultry. Yeah. My dad's name is Dennis Miller. He was an auto mechanic in town. For a while, he had a garage called the Dow Garage. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 41.
Well, Dennis Miller, I used to take my car to.
Uh-huh.
And he had a son that went into Improv. And I knew him. And then at one point he was going into New York.
Mm-hmm. That's me.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see me again.
Yeah.
And you did come by Access some, I think. That must have been the way I met you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was called Natasha at that time, maybe.
Okay. All right. Huh.
And I was wondering when you were going to come on the show how I could describe this kid that I met. And I couldn't remember Dennis Miller's name, but I remember going to that little shop, and then he moved over to East State Street.
Yes.
And then the site was contaminated by an old gas station or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you turned out real well.
Well, thank you so much. Jeez, against all odds, I guess. You're probably like, I should have this kid on before he totally turns. Yeah. My dad's doing great. He's doing solar electric cars right now, and that would be really interesting to talk about. I'd say invite him on. He's got a lot of ideas about cars and carbon footprints, and he has a new design for a car that this is going to be his third prototype of a solar electric vehicle.
I wonder if he's been on Access.
I don't believe so.
Okay. We have someone, she might be sitting around the corner, I don't know, but she got a car that runs on magic.
Uh-huh. Magic, yeah.
And I know she has taped some of that car stuff, But, well, I'm so delighted to see you again.
Yeah, full circle.
And you were really happy about improv and about going to New York and doing big things and
Still working on it. Back in Athens for a little landing pad, try to spread the improv comedy word, and then off to LA.
well, where is Dennis now?
He lives in Meigs County.
In Meigs County?
Yeah, we have about 90 acres of land out there, and all log cabins that he built himself. He kind of lives off the grid.
Well, what is on the acres?
There's three cabins, three
Oh.
different cabins, and it's kind of a it's beautiful, kind of hilly property. And then in Tupper's Plains in Meigs County, a little town called Tupper's Plains. He's got a garage where he builds his solar electric vehicles.
Oh.
And he's actually going to be at the Paw Paw Festival this weekend with one of his vehicles.
Oh, is this weekend the Pawpaw Festival?
I believe so.
Does your mom teach self-defense?
She does.
And does she still live in the same house?
She lives, she lives out off Rock Riffle Road.
Okay,
Yeah.
she did live across from the station, right?
Over on Pratt Street, yes, and then West Union, yes, that's where, I grew up over there.
All right, and I think she came out. I used to work at the prison, and I'm pretty sure she came and visited and spoke to our inmates.
Yep, that sounds like her, yep.
This is the kind of third world experience.
Yeah.
I don't know if we created it by...
Yeah. It's the connections, just yes-anding and getting to it, yeah.
But now, I don't remember calling you Yang.
No, I went by Chris then. My middle name's Christian. So when I was growing up, I went by Chris, just because kids would, ask me what yang meant, and then I have to tell them about yin yang and the balance of the universe and everything like that, and it was just it was a little much. It was a little much.
Yeah, I was wondering what your middle name was.
Christian, yeah. And then my brother is Moss Miller. I don't know if you know him. He owns the skateboard shop down on Stimson Avenue. The Flipside Skateboard Shop.
The Staple Shop?
Skateboard shop. Skateboard shop.
I do. I'm 82.
Okay. The skateboard shop.
Oh, skateboard.
Yeah,
Oh.
He owns the skateboard shop there across from the post office. Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Do you do, like at the Donkey, do you ever just do a show?
Yes, so I do different kind of characters, and I write bits for them, and I do some improv with them. I should have brought some costumes and come and done some stuff for you, maybe next time.
Next time, that's a magic word.
Okay, that sounds good. I do a character that I've been working on. I did at the Donkey Coffee, and I might actually do at Casa tonight. I'm not sure, at the open mic at Casa. But he's a character called Bummer Dan. And he's sort of an old hippie guy around Athens who's always bummed out about stuff. He's always bummed out. But he's not bummed out about big world things, about the politics of the world or about any big things. He's bummed out about personal stuff. So he's like, man, I'll tell you, there's a lot of bummers in the world these days, brother. Like, for instance, the other day, my little niece was monkeying around with my dream catchers, and now my night visions are all out of whack. There's so many bummers in the world, man. My brother-in-law was cooking meat product, and he used my cast iron skillet, brother, and that thing had been perfectly seasoned. With my brown rice and broccoli cakes. I'd been seasoning it for years, man. There's a lot of bummers.
I can see you have a lot of fun in life.
I sure do. I sure do.
You bring it with you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And you did say next time, so when do you think would be a good spacer? In other words, how much space between now and then?
Oh, well, let me get a new class started. Let's get a
Okay.
new class started. Maybe I could even have some other improvisers come in and we could do a little scene for you and
Oh,
something
that
like
would be
that.
great. And if you come across any of those little first graders starting out
Okay.
that wouldn't mind being on television,
Okay. That
bring
sounds
them
great.
in.
And I'll also give my dad your number, and maybe you want to talk to him because he has a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh, great. And
Yeah.
it'd be good to see him again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Yang.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. And reach out to me if you're interested in taking my class, millery@ohio.edu. And check out my videos on YouTube. Just Google Yang Miller. There's all kinds of stuff that comes
Oh,
up.
really?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Okay, I'll do that.
Some of it's a little racy, but
Uh-oh. Kaleidoscope's never racy.
no.
Are we, Matt? No comment.
door. Now it's football. All right, come on out. Boris, look.